When you get to a certain size, it's actually quite hard to push forward to see the wood for the trees, and cash flow is a really big issue for many small companies that could be hand to mouth. We are a little bit more established, but still it's nice to have the opportunity to look beyond what the obvious day-to-day use of the resources are.
We have been looking into the apprenticeship scheme, and I know there's government initiatives to help out with funding, but also I think with investment in the actual bakery business, where we can apply for a grant with match funding. And with our business, we're sort of quite young into it, but we've got so much to do and improve.
As a small business, it's obviously very difficult to compete with the larger stores, especially in retail. And I think small business grants like this can be hugely beneficial in sort of allowing us to compete on a more even playing field.
When you start up, you really do spend an awful lot of money, so having a grant would probably give you the ability to do something extra that you probably couldn't afford on your own.
In my case, there's so many things we could use it for, but in particular I would be interested in new key cutting machinery, because we do cut keys for the whole village, and you know, technology is moving so fast that new types of keys are always coming out, so keeping the equipment up to date so that we can cut every type of key is of huge benefit to the villagers as well, because it means they don't have to travel.
I think there are various sort of behind the scenes things which perhaps aren't very glamorous. For example, accounting software which would allow me to really track and manage my costs, and my stock flow would be quite a useful investment, although perhaps a little bit boring.
So if we were successful, we would use it possibly with looking at the apprenticeship scheme, because we would like to develop the team and grow the team, and I think that's a great way of doing that. But also we were looking at online ordering, so looking at a system to make it more efficient. We already have the website and Facebook and social media, but it's trying to keep up to date with all the latest activities. So I think that's where we would certainly look at using our funding if we were successful.
And that certainly using the money towards developing a website would be fabulous as well, because again that's something that's very difficult to do as a very small business. The time and the money involved in setting up a good functional website is immense.
I think it would be great to have a better website. So the one I've got is good, but I think I could really improve it. And to have some assistance from somebody professional who knows what they're doing, I think would be really useful. So that's probably where I would spend most of that type of money.
We're also looking at developing an app as well for our national publication. And that's something we've been excited about for a long time, but it's a huge investment for us. So having a little bit of help and a little bit of support from Horsham District Council would be enormously valuable.
The biggest problem is the staffing, because it's so expensive now. Your minimum wage has gone up. The amount of staff you have can make or break the business. You obviously need enough to be fully covered at all times, but you do need that little bit of spare to cover holidays and sickness, and that's where it all gets very difficult.
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that we found is staffing a business which is small and very customer centric as well. So finding the right person is really, really key. So it is a big challenge, but when you found that unique person that will work in a small business and has the same passion as you, then that takes your business up to another level. So staffing is a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge.
So a small business grant like this, I think, would certainly ease that burden if you were able to take on somebody even on a part-time basis who was flexible, that could step in when they were needed.
I think the main obstacles for a small craft bakery business is the amount of hours that we actually do. Because we work night shift, it's making sure that we get those key people into the team that do enjoy baking at night. It's not certainly for everybody, so that's an obstacle, and making sure that the transportation is there, that everybody's got some way of getting into Billingshurst, especially for the night shift.
I think we all need a bit of a leg up and a bit of a helping hand when we've got a small business, and you've got to seize upon all the help and the advice that you can. So any sort of support is invaluable, and we all think that we're busy running our businesses, but it's great to have the encouragement to look above and beyond and see how you can push forward
Yes, I think a LEAP apprenticeship grant would be an excellent thing for both the business and the apprentice as well. If I was able to afford an apprentice in the shop, I mean there's lots of skills they can learn through working in a shop like Hamfeld's, key cutting. You learn so much about such a diverse range of products here. You learn a lot about plumbing, DIY, building, electricals, decorating. So it'd be a very good opportunity for a young person to learn a lot about several different skills.
For us as a small craft bakery business, when I started in bakery many years ago, I did take an apprenticeship, and it was a great way to learn the craft and the trade by not only working in the business but also going to college day release. This allowed a whole range of working, and it developed myself as a baker confectioner much more widely, and I think the apprenticeship scheme should be renewed and brought back, and it's certainly something that we would be looking into.
I think it's a struggle sometimes with a small business, a financial struggle, so any extra funding that you can find that would give you that extra boost is well worth applying for. I mean, in terms of apprenticeship, I'm not at that stage yet, but I can see in the future it would be fantastic to bring somebody in who's keen to learn about retail and about painting and how that works, to be able to give them the opportunity to learn a really great skill.
I think it's not just about the grant itself, it's feeling secure that you have your local district council behind your business and behind your small community. There's something very nice when you're a small business in knowing that you can rely on people around you to support you and help you grow. So it's the knowledge of Horsham District Council and what else they can advise and what else they can help you with. It's not just about the grant.
The LEAP Small Business Grant is a fabulous way to be able to obtain some extra funding, in addition to obviously you have to give the equivalent amount yourself as well, but it's very unusual to be able to be offered that sort of help financially without any extra cost to yourself. And there's so many ways it can be used. Obviously it's very flexible.
I think it's well worth exploring what the LEAP scheme has to offer. I mean, it may not be something that everybody can apply for at the moment, but it's certainly something to look at and consider, because we all need to have help when we start up. And actually when you continue as well, it doesn't stop. You still need to grow and consider how to improve your business. And any sort of support, financial support, advice is well worth looking into for any business, big or small.
Because there are funds out there to be had to grow your business. So I would certainly encourage people to get that form filled out and email it off, really.